My name is Julia Caxor. I'm 35 years old. And 8 months ago, I walked into my own bedroom and realized the two people I trusted most had been lying to me for over a year. For 9 years, I thought I had a solid marriage. Not perfect. Not some fairy tale people post about online. But real. The kind of real that grows quietly over time. Shared bills, inside jokes, lazy Sundays, grocery lists stuck to the fridge. The kind of real that makes you believe you're building something permanent. I believed in that life. I believed in him. My husband, Ethan, had this way about him. Confident, smooth, always knowing exactly what to say. He worked in sales, always chasing the next big deal. Always talking about just one more push and we'll be set. I used to admire that. Used to think it meant he was driven. Looking back now, I think he just didn't know how to be still. And then, there was my younger sister, Lily, 31. Beautiful without trying. The kind of woman who didn't just walk into a room, she owned it. People listened when she spoke, laughed when she laughed. Growing up, she was always the center of everything, the golden child. My parents adored her in that quiet, undeniable way. They never said it out loud, but you could feel it in how quickly they forgave her, how easily they overlooked things that would have earned me lectures. I was the steady one, the dependable one, the one who didn't make waves. And maybe that's why I never questioned her. Not really, because she was my sister. And you don't imagine your sister becoming the person who destroys your life. We had family dinners every couple of weeks. They were always the same. My mom cooking too much food, my dad telling the same stories, Ethan scrolling through his phone until Lily showed up. That's when everything changed, even back then. I should have noticed. The way Ethan would straighten up when she walked in. The way his voice softened, just slightly, when he spoke to her. The way Lily would lean in when he talked. Like whatever he said mattered more than anything else in the room. And the laughing. God, the laughing. She laughed at everything he said. Not polite laughter, not casual. The kind that lingers just a second too long. The kind that means something. At the time, I told myself it was harmless. That they were just getting along. That I was lucky my husband and my sister liked each other. I trusted them. Completely. And that was my first mistake. About 6 months before everything fell apart, Ethan started changing. At first, it was easy to ignore. Work getting busier. Late nights. More urgent calls he had to take outside. He started turning his phone face down on the table. Started bringing it into the bathroom with him. Started texting late into the night, his screen lighting up the darkness while I lay next to him, pretending to be asleep. Big client, he'd say. Just stress. And I nodded. Because that's what you do when you love someone. You give them the benefit of the doubt, even when your instincts are quietly screaming at you to stop. But then the little things started piling up. New clothes. Expensive ones. Cologne he'd never worn before. And the distance. That was the worst part. Not the lies. Not even the suspicion. The distance. He stopped touching me. Stopped asking how my day was. Stopped looking at me like I mattered. It wasn't sudden. It was slow. So slow I almost didn't notice it happening. Like watching something fade in real time. Until one day, you realize it's already gone. And still, I stayed quiet. Because part of me didn't want to know. Because asking the question meant risking the answer. And I wasn't ready for that. The day everything shattered was a Tuesday. I remember that because my meeting got canceled last minute. I left work early. Thought I'd surprise him. Maybe pick up his favorite Thai food. Maybe remind us both what it felt like to be normal. God. I hate how hopeful I was that day. I walked into the house around 3 p.m. At first it felt empty. Still. Then I heard something upstairs. A sound. A soft, familiar laugh. Her laugh. Lily's. And in that moment, everything inside me just dropped. My heart. My stomach. My sense of reality. All of it. Gone. My brain tried to protect me, tried to come up with explanations. Maybe she stopped by. Maybe Ethan was helping her with something. Maybe. But deep down, I already knew. I walked upstairs anyway, each step heavier than the last, like my body was moving, but my mind was trying to catch up. When I reached the bedroom door, my hand was shaking. I remember staring at the handle, just staring, because I knew. I knew that once I opened that door, there would be no going back, no fixing it, no pretending, no denial. Just truth. Ugly. Permanent. Irreversible truth. I should have turned around. I should have left. But I didn't. I opened the door. And there they were. My husband, my sister, in my bed. Not confused, not startled in the way innocent people are. No. They were comfortable. Like they had done this before. Many times. Ethan's hand on her waist. Her body leaning into his like it belonged there. Like he belonged to her. Lily screamed first, grabbing the sheets, covering herself like that would somehow undo what I'd just seen. Ethan froze, just stared at me, like his brain couldn't process that the fantasy had collided with reality. And me? I didn't scream, didn't cry, didn't throw anything. I just stood there, completely still, because something inside me had gone quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that isn't peace. It's shock. It's the moment right before something breaks permanently. Get out, I said. My voice was calm, flat, unfamiliar. Ethan moved first, scrambling for his clothes, not even looking at me, not even trying to explain, not even pretending this could be fixed. He just ran, out of the house, like a coward, leaving her behind. Of course he did. He always ran. Lily started crying. Julia, please, I can explain. I raised my hand, and she stopped, just like that, because even now, she knew. Something had changed, something she couldn't control anymore. I'm leaving tonight, I said quietly. Be gone when I get back. No yelling, no accusations, no drama, just final. I turned and walked out of the room, out of the house, out of my own life. I don't remember the drive. I don't remember choosing the hotel. I just remember sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall for hours, not crying, not moving, just replaying it. Again, and again, and again. Her face, his hands, the way they looked at each other. Not guilty, not ashamed, but familiar. Like I was the outsider. Like I was the one who didn't belong. The next morning, I went back. And somehow, it got worse. Because she was still there, sitting on the couch, looking like the victim. Red eyes, smudged makeup, as if she had been the one betrayed. I didn't sleep, she said softly. I don't care. She flinched. And for the first time, I felt something. Not sadness, not grief, just cold. Julia, it's not what you think. I laughed. A hollow, empty sound. Then what is it? I asked. Because it looked exactly like my husband sleeping with my sister. She hesitated, and that hesitation told me everything. A year, she whispered. A year, 12 months, dozens of dinners, holidays, birthdays, every memory, contaminated, every moment, fake. We tried to stop, she said, but we couldn't. I just stared at her, waiting to feel something, anything. But there was nothing, just emptiness. I want a divorce, I said. No. I blinked. No? You're being emotional, she said calmly. We can fix this. Fix this. I looked at her, really looked at her. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. She didn't think she had done anything unforgivable. You're hurt, she continued. But if you had been there for Ethan, stop. My voice cut through hers, sharp, cold, final. If he wants you, I said, He can have you. And the worst part? She didn't look ashamed. She looked annoyed, like I was making things inconvenient. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just betrayal. This was something deeper, something uglier. Because they didn't think they were the villains. They thought I was. And somehow, this nightmare was only just beginning. I thought the worst part was over. I was wrong. The betrayal? That was just the beginning. I left the house that morning and didn't come back. Not that day. Not the next. I stayed with a friend, Marcus. Someone who didn't ask too many questions, just handed me a glass of whiskey and said, "Lawyer, now." And for once in my life, I listened. The next week passed like a blur. Paperwork, calls, bank accounts. That's when I found out something that somehow made everything even worse. Lily hadn't just taken my husband. She'd been taking my money too. $15,000. Gone. Slowly, quietly drained from our joint account over months. When my lawyer contacted Ethan about it, his response came through cold and polished. Household expenses. I actually laughed when I read that, because those expenses included hotel rooms, restaurants, jewelry. There was even a pattern. One place in particular. A hotel downtown. Expensive, discreet. Used over and over again. Same dates, same times. The same nights he told me he was working late. I had been paying for my own betrayal. Document everything, my lawyer Frank told me. Every receipt, every message, every lie. So I did, obsessively, like it was the only thing keeping me from falling apart. I went through months of records, and every line told a story. Plane tickets to Miami. The same week he told me he had a business conference in Chicago. A jewelry purchase in February. Valentine's Day. I didn't get anything. But someone did. It should have made me angry. It didn't. Not yet. Because anger requires energy. And at that point, I was still empty. Then I called my parents. I don't know why. Maybe some part of me still believed they would be on my side, that they would see what happened and stand with me. I was wrong. "Julia," my father said carefully, "we know you're upset. But what?" I cut in. "Family is complicated," my mother added. "People make mistakes." Mistakes. I almost choked on the word. "She's your sister," my dad continued. "And Ethan. Well, you know how relationships can be." "No," I said quietly. "I don't." There was a pause. Then my mom spoke again. "Lily called us. She's devastated." Devastated. I closed my eyes. "She said you threw her out," my dad added. "That you were yelling. That you scared her." My hand tightened around the phone. "I didn't touch her," I said. "I didn't yell. I left." "That's not what she said." Of course it wasn't. And then came the part that broke something deeper than betrayal ever could. "We told her she could stay here," my mother said. I went completely still. "You what?" "She has nowhere to go," she replied. "And we think, maybe you two need space to work this out." Work this out. They had taken her side, without even asking mine. "There's nothing to work out," I said. "You're being dramatic," my father replied. "Marriage takes effort. You don't just walk away." "Did Mom sleep with your brother?" I asked. Silence. "Julia," my mother snapped. "Then it's not the same." I hung up, blocked their numbers, blocked Lily, blocked Ethan, cut them all out in one clean motion. Because if I didn't, I knew they would find a way to twist this into something that made me the villain. And I was right. 3 weeks later, I got served. But not with divorce papers. No, that would have been too simple, too honest. Ethan was suing me. I remember standing there, reading the document, and actually laughing. A real laugh this time. Because it was so absurd. It almost felt like a joke. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. He was accusing me. of abusing him, of humiliating him, of damaging his mental health. According to the lawsuit, I had falsely accused him of cheating. I had thrown him out of the house. I had spread lies about him. I had created a toxic, controlling environment. I had caused him severe emotional trauma. He was asking for the equivalent of nearly 3.6 billion VND in damages. I handed the papers to Frank. He read them once, then looked at me. "This," he said slowly, "is the dumbest thing I've seen in 30 years. It got worse. The lawyer representing him? His sister. Lily." I blinked. "Can she even do that?" "Technically, yes," Frank said. "Ethically, questionable, but legal enough to proceed." So now, the woman who betrayed me was trying to destroy me in court. Then I saw the witness list, and that's when everything changed. My parents, both of them, listed as witnesses against me. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel pain. I felt something else, something colder, clearer. They were all in, every single one of them, fully committed to the lie. And in that moment, something inside me shifted. "Frank," I said quietly. "Yes? I want to countersue." He smiled slightly. "For what?" "Everything. Adultery, fraud, theft, defamation. Every single thing they had done to me. I wanted it all on record." "Good," he said, "because we're going to need it." That night, I went back to the house. For the first time since that Tuesday, it felt different, empty, cold, like it didn't belong to me anymore. I walked through the living room, the kitchen, the hallway. Every corner held a memory. Every memory felt contaminated. And then I remembered something small, something I hadn't thought about in months. The security system. 2 years ago, after a break-in scare in the neighborhood, I had installed cameras. Living room, kitchen, front door, back door. Even the bedroom. Lily had been the one who insisted on that last one. Said it made her feel safer after watching some crime documentary. I had forgotten about it. Completely. Until that moment. My heart started beating faster. Not from panic. From something else. Something sharper. Possibility. I went to my laptop, logged into the system, opened the cloud storage, and started scrolling back. 3 months, 2 months, 1 month. And then, I saw it. A timestamp. A date. Mid-afternoon. I clicked. The video loaded. Clear. Sharp. Undeniable. And there they were. Ethan. Lily. In my house. In my bed. Not once. Not twice. Dozens of times. Different days. Different rooms. Different lies. All captured. All stored. All waiting. I sat there for a long time. Watching. Not crying. Not shaking. Just absorbing it. Because now, I finally had the truth. Not just what I saw that day, but everything. Every lie. Every betrayal. Every moment they thought they were getting away with it. And that's when I made a decision. I wasn't going to stop them. I wasn't going to interrupt their story. I wasn't going to warn them. I was going to let them talk. Let them lie. Let them build their entire case. Let them stand in court. And swear it was all true. And then, I was going to destroy them. Because they didn't just betray me. They tried to rewrite reality. They tried to make me the villain. And I was done being quiet. For the first time since that Tuesday, I felt something real. Not pain. Not grief. Control. And they had no idea what was coming. The day of the trial arrived, and strangely, I felt nothing. No fear, no anger. Just clarity. Ethan showed up looking like the perfect victim. Simple suit, tired eyes, slight slump in his posture. If you didn't know the truth, you'd feel sorry for him. Lily stood beside him, confident, composed, playing the role of the supportive lawyer. But I noticed the way her fingers kept adjusting the same stack of papers over and over again. Nervous. Good. And then, there were my parents, sitting right behind them, not next to me, not even looking at me. That hurt more than I expected. But I didn't react. I couldn't afford to. Frank leaned toward me. Ready? I nodded. I'd been ready for weeks. Ethan's case went first. Of course it did. He took the stand and told his story. Calm, controlled, almost rehearsed. About how I worked too much, how I ignored him, how I made him feel small, how I was emotionally distant, critical, impossible to please. And then, he painted himself as the man who had nowhere else to turn, who found comfort in the one person who understood him. My sister. I watched him carefully. Every word, every pause, every fake tremble in his voice. If I didn't know the truth, I might have believed him too. Then Lily questioned him. Soft voice. Leading questions. Guiding him exactly where she wanted him to go. Like they had practiced it together. Which they probably had. Next came the witnesses. His co-workers. Talking about how intense I was. How I once showed up at his office unannounced. Never mind that I brought him lunch. Then his therapist. Talking about trauma, anxiety, emotional damage. A woman who had never even met me. Then, my parents. My father spoke first. Said I had always been difficult, cold, distant. Even as a child. That Ethan had tried his best. That my sister had been there for him when I wasn't. My mother followed. Her voice softer, more emotional. She said she had never seen Ethan happier than when he was around Lily. That they had a natural connection. That maybe some people just weren't meant to be together. I didn't cry. I didn't react. But something inside me closed. For good. 2 days. 2 full days of testimony. Of lies. Of stories that painted me as something I wasn't. And then, it was my turn. I took the stand, raised my hand, swore to tell the truth. And for the first time, I actually felt something. Not fear, not anger. Resolve. Frank kept it simple. Walked me through everything. The marriage, the changes, the day I came home early, what I saw, what I said, what I didn't do. Did you yell at your husband? He asked. No. Did you throw anything? No. Did you threaten him in any way? No. His questions were calm, precise, almost quiet, like he didn't need to convince anyone, like he already knew how this would end. Then he asked the question, do you have any evidence to support your claims? The room went still. Ethan shifted in his seat. Lily's pen stopped moving. Yes, I said. I do. Lily stood up immediately. Objection. This evidence was not. It was disclosed, Frank said smoothly. Your Honor, we clearly stated in discovery that security footage exists. The judge turned to Lily. Did you review that? Silence. A single second. That stretched too long. And in that moment, I saw it. The realization. The crack in her confidence. Play it, the judge said. Frank connected the laptop. The screen lit up. A date. A time. My bedroom. And then, the truth. Ethan. And Lily. Not talking. Not explaining. Not confused. Together. The room went completely silent. My mother gasped, covered her mouth, turned away. My father didn't move. Just stared at the screen like he had forgotten how to breathe. Ethan went pale. Actually, pale. Like all the blood had drained out of his body. Lily. She stopped pretending. The composure, the confidence. Gone. Frank didn't stop at one video. Another. Different day. Different room. Same betrayal. Another. Kitchen. Another. Living room. Another. The day I walked in. Clear. Undeniable. Complete. 40 hours of truth. Against 2 days of lies. When the screen went dark again, no one spoke. The judge leaned forward slowly. Her expression had changed. completely. Do you have anything to say? She asked Lily. For the first time, she didn't. Ethan tried, started to speak, stopped, because there was nothing left to say. Plaintiff's case is dismissed, the judge said, her voice sharp now, final. And then she looked at them again, one by one. You lied under oath. You fabricated abuse. You attempted to manipulate this court. Then she turned to my parents. And you. Her voice softened, but only slightly. You chose to stand against your own daughter based on lies. You testified to things that never happened. You enabled this. My mother started crying. Quietly. My father just stared at the floor. It didn't fix anything, but it mattered. The next day was shorter. Quieter. Frank presented our counterclaim. The money taken. The legal costs. The damage. We didn't ask for everything. Just enough. When the judge ruled, it was over. They lost. Everything. Debt, reputation, careers. And I won. But standing there, listening to the verdict, I didn't feel victorious. I felt empty. Because winning didn't give me my life back, didn't fix what they broke, didn't erase what I saw. It just proved I wasn't crazy. That was 3 months ago. Ethan calls sometimes, different numbers. Same message. Apologies. Regret. Begging. Lily hasn't called. Not once. My parents sent a letter. Long, emotional, full of words like mistake, and family, and forgiveness. I didn't respond. Because some things don't get fixed. Some things end. And this ended the moment I opened that bedroom door. Everything after that was just the truth catching up.